You gotta bang louder than that.
What? Ain't no way to kill roaches.
Golly.
Get some roaches
Well,
there.
you woke me
Tell me
up.
to do something, I do it, didn't I?
I guess
You woke Bob up.
All
Can we call the meeting to order?
All right.
And there's not any new members or guests present, I don't think. We have the secretary's report online. If there's any changes, please contact Joanne for any corrections. Can I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. So I have a treasurer's report. Our starting balance is of $3,623.02. I made a deposit of $15, so that brings our balance up to $3,638.02.
Wonder where we got the 2 cents.
Do we have any discussion on the treasurer's report? So can I have a motion to accept?
Second.
Motion and accept, and all in favor? Now, I have a report, so I will give it to Joanne if anyone needs to see it, okay? That's for you. Now, we do have one piece of old business to discuss. We now have a very good track underneath our patterns, our box of patterns that was purchased. It was it $19.50? $19.50. So can I have a motion to repay?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Okay, so I will write you a check when the meeting is over, okay? All right, are we good on that?
And it is screwed down too, so I didn't want to order.
Also, so you screwed through the thing to catch it? That's awesome, thank you.
Yeah, we can just roll it now, much easier.
It rolled pretty good because I put it on over there and it rolled over here.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
probably really didn't need to be screwed down, but
No, it's better.
yeah.
So it's much easier to handle. And we can add to it and it won't affect the weight.
Yeah, it's 450 pounds.
Well, surely we don't need it any more than that.
I just heard we're doing soapbox racing.
Okay, one other little piece of old business. I was neglectful in the fact that whenever you pay in your dues, I did not give you one of these cards, and you need to have one of these cards. So anyone who has paid their dues, they please come up and get one of those and fill them out, okay? Because you can show those to places and you get a discount. That's the whole reason for that. So after the meeting or whatever, come up and get one and fill it out yourself,
I didn't
okay?
tell Woodcraft.
Yeah, but this can prove it. If they say
Some
anything.
people want proof.
No,
I mean, as far as them right there, they know you.
they've been in
they
there
don't
enough
have
times. But anyway, that's just what we're supposed to do. Also, new business, I got a bunch of wood over there on that table. Please take it home. I do not want to take it home. Please take it home. Okay, do we have any further old business? Okay, should we go on to new business? This is y'all are too quiet. Does anyone have any new business they'd like to discuss? Okay. Did you want to?
Last month, Bobby was nice enough to send me the pattern of the duck and you turn it around and it's a bunny. I failed to send it out. And so I made copies for y'all. And Bobby, how big do you cut what he does is give them, like cuts them out and gives them to little kids and shows them.
They're about that big. I
About
got one
2.
over here.
Okay, about 2 inches, something like that.
So we need to shrink this down, right?
Yeah. Put it in some water and shrink it. About this big.
Okay.
So I thought that was the dryer that did the shrinking, not the water.
You put it in the water, then it dries.
See, he painted.
Yeah, it makes it, yeah. I think it's, did you do that with 2 layers glued together, or did you paint it like that?
My wife painted it. I didn't paint it.
Okay, but
See?
is it
It's one piece of wood.
one piece of wood and you painted
Yeah.
it like that? Okay,
You don't have to paint them. They don't care.
yeah.
Once you show it to them, they just
But it
keep
looks-
going back and forth like this all day.
But it looks cute painted. It does look cute painted.
It's cute.
It is, it's cute. Okay. Do we have any discussion on Ask the Experts?
Yes, I do, just a
Okay.
minute.
I have some, what, you want me to go ahead and mine?
Yeah.
All right, I've been trying to find a different method to sell my products. So I've been going to consignment stores and getting information about that. But has anybody ever sold anything on Etsy or eBay? How does that work? Does it do any good? Yes.
Yeah, I have my own website that I sell woodworking from.
You think having your own website is the best way rather than Etsy or eBay?
It helps. It helps, but it's, a lot of the sales is like word of mouth. Yeah, it's not that frequent, but yeah, I pay one fee for the year for the web hosting, and then you know, every sale you make, they take like a small percentage out, so you don't have to pay like any monthly fee.
Okay. So the website's a good place to sell
Yes.
stuff?
Oh, so it's hosted by, is it Etsy?
No, it's hosting. Yeah.
And they don't take as much as Etsy does?
No, I think, I'm not sure how much Etsy charges. I think, is it like a monthly fee or something? I'm not exactly sure.
I haven't got that far. That's what I was gonna ask y'all guys. You guys, what y'all think of that? Etsy or eBay, either one.
eBay, I don't know if it's even still relevant. Is eBay still relevant?
Yes, people still, they still shop on eBay. I used to see people selling like wooden key rings on eBay.
So none of y'all have real practical experience with it?
I used to do on Etsy, but I only sold 4 or 5 things on there. They charge you, like, if I remember, it's like 20 cents for each listing a month.
Okay.
Okay, so if you list 5 things and you don't sell them, you know, or sell them, it's had to be $1 that month. Plus, I don't know I can't remember what they take out, if they take anything out after you sell it, I can't remember. But the problem with it, selling it online, is there's so many people that doing it.
Yeah.
And somebody, let's say, he's going to quit. So what you sell for $30, he put it on for $10 just to get rid of it. So now you know, they're going to buy the $10 one before they buy the $30 one, you know.
So, and you also have the package and send too, that's responsibility.
And I used to have a booth in Painted Tree,
Painted, yes.
but it's so expensive.
Yes, it is.
You know, I'd sell $400 or $500 a month, but then you're paying
$400 or $500 a
$300
month.
or $400 for the booth. So, you know, it's not, I mean, unless you just need $100 every month, you know, it's not really practical.
And I went to Painted Tree and got some information from them.
And you were down in Granbury at a long time ago. Didn't you have a booth down in Granbury for a long time?
Yeah, that wasn't bad because it was under $100 a month, you know, but that place isn't no more, but, you know, I did good. I used to have one down in Round Rock, and it was like $50, and I would sell $400 or $500 a month, you know, so it was worth it. My son just lived around the corner from it, so we'd go visit them, and I'd go restock, but that lady retired and nobody bought it, so she closed it up. They're hard to find. I mean, when we go on vacation, we stop every place we can to find one. You know, they're antique stores now. There's hardly any. Down in Brenham, there used to be a store where they had antiques on one side and they had crafts on the other side. Now it's all antiques. They're just craft stores, you know, where they sell stuff like we do, or other wooden crafts, you know. They're hard to find now.
I think there's one in Denton, and I'm going to be looking into that one.
I was in one in Denton, up going 35 before, right as you're leaving Denton.
I don't know where it is. My daughter-in-law told me about it.
It used to be crafts and antiques, and I think it's all antiques now.
Well, this one.
But you can get a booth in there. I don't know if they'll probably give you a booth in there if there's any openings.
My daughter-in-law knows of this. This one is new. It's just opening.
Oh, now this has been there for years.
I'm supposed to be she and I are supposed to be getting together with that. She's going.
That might work.
She has a booth there already, and she's wanting me to put a booth. I've been preoccupied lately, but I'm supposed to be going up and do that at Denton with her.
I've been doing farmers markets. I took a week off this week, so I came here. But I've been going to Keller's Farmers Market, and it's really big.
That's a good idea. Farmers market. I didn't think of that.
And I do good there. It's only 4 hours, you know. And
Where do you find the information about farmers markets?
almost every town has one. You just put in the town and the farmers market, and you'll find it.
Okay.
You know, and some of them require you to be there a certain amount of time, you know, and some of them don't, you know. Like the Keller one, you just need to tell them a week ahead of time before, you know. You have to be accepted first, and then if they accept you, then you can put in when you want to come, and you pay them online. Show up and set up and take down. It takes me about 2 hours to set up and an hour to take down, and plus the 4 hours. So I'm there 7 hours, and I'll sell sometimes $200, sometimes $600. You know,
What are you selling?
What
are you selling?
I couldn't.
What are you selling?
My crafts.
Oh, the crafts? Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, it all depends, you know.
So you suggest farmers markets is a good venue then?
The what?
You suggest that farmers market's a good venue then?
It has been for me. There's one in Denton. It's really nice. I've been to it. I've never vended, but it's a nice one.
I could maybe do
They
that.
have music there. And same as Keller, they have somebody come in with music every week. Sometimes it's a DJ and sometimes it's live music.
So my son lives in Denton, so I could,
Yeah, it's nice. The Denton Farmers Market's nice. You have, like I say, you have to go online and register, and if they accept you, then you have to. But I just don't want to do them every week, you know. And some people don't mind doing them every week, you know.
Anybody ever do the Facebook?
Once in a while, I'll
Yeah.
sell some. I sell patterns that way.
Uh,
Yeah, people on Facebook, I've got a pattern site, and people
Do they
always ask me to
charge?
make patterns. Huh?
Do they charge?
Facebook?
Yeah.
No.
Marketplace, okay.
Are you able to get a reasonable price for them, or is it like a church market where if it's not 50 cents, they don't buy it?
What do you mean?
Can you get a decent price for it at these markets?
Decent price, you mean for my crafts?
Yes.
I sell for whatever I sell them for anywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. The most expensive thing I have is $50, and then I think $7 is my least expensive. So and I haven't raised prices since, I don't know, that's the same as almost 20 years ago.
well, I know Grapevine has
They have
one there, and I talked to her briefly one time, and she said that I had to call somebody else to do it, and
I did that one years ago too, but it was nice there. They
Lot
did
of
allow
traffic.
tents. You had to have, back then, I don't know what it's like now. It's been over 10 years ago. But back then, you had to have like an umbrella.
No, this is a store. It's in a
Oh,
building.
okay, yeah, I don't know how expensive those are. I've been in those over there. It's been a while though. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've been over there. But there was the one store over there that had consignment booths.
Yeah, I was
But most
supposed
of the time, those are so expensive now. They used to be $40 and $50, and now they're $300-400, you know?
Painted Tree, I think that she quoted me $450.
Yeah. see.
Whoa.
And that's what I paid, you know, for a really high-end
If
craft
they sell a
show.
lot of stuff to make a 450.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's the small booth is $450.
Yeah.
The large booth was $700.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't even think about going to them.
Well, my daughter-in-law was really recommending the one in Denton, so as soon as things settle down, I'm gonna go up to see what she's got going on.
And
This
you have
lady
to
is-
sell $1,000 or more every month to make it worth going, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I don't know,
Just ain't
even
gonna
then,
happen.
if you're giving that much as for a booth, I don't know if that'd be worth it.
You know,
Even
it's-
if you made a profit.
You don't have to be there though, that's one thing.
That's the one.
That's the only advantage to it, is
Yeah.
you don't have to be there.
Well, Rebecca will take care of anything for me because it's real close to her.
Oh, they'd be good.
Yeah, and I could just leave stuff at her house and she'll go refill stuff if I happen to sell something. She's already told me all that.
Yeah, when we go up to
Well, it just
West
had-
Virginia, we stop in Ohio at the Amish country. And that's a place to go if you want to see crafts. I mean,
Yeah, they do.
when we lived up there, on Fridays and Saturdays, I used to have a booth up there, and it's really nice up there. You get a lot of ideas too, and some of them you can ship, and they'll put your stuff out for you. You know, you don't even have to go up there for once. You know, and but I haven't tried it this, you know, for a long time. But we're planning on another trip up there, so I like to go up there.
Those are really the crafts, right?
They
Well,
really
you know,
do.
there are people just like us. Most of it's not Amish people. It's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just, you know, and it's a big range of products, different things, you know. I mean, if you've never been up there, it's a pretty nice trip if you want to do. It's called Sugar Creek and Berlin. They spell like Berlin, but they say Berlin. And I forget all the other little towns. There's like 3 or 4 little towns right through there. And it's
This is-
pretty nice.
This is in which state? Texas?
So what?
This is in Texas?
No,
Texas?
no, what state is it?
Ohio.
Okay, that's a ways.
Yeah, it's in Ohio. It's east of Columbus.
So any other comment on the selling your products?
I have mine in a store in Goldwaite. They found me before they ever started the booth. And I think I would not sell it as much, but I have my military stuff in there, and that's close to Fort Hood, or what used to be Fort Hood. And so people coming through there have bought my military stuff. And at Christmas, of course, is my big time. But,
How much does a booth cost?
well, it didn't cost me anything until recently, and she charges like $35 a year, and then so much per month part of your money. So it just depends on, and I can't remember what percentage. But it's still worth it for me, but it's slow. I mean, she's open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And,
If I get up to Denton and look into this thing that Rebecca keeps telling me to come see, I'll let y'all know how it works out.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on Ask the Experts? Did you?
yes,
Yeah.
I have a solution. Okay, you know how your blades get to slipping after you've used them a while, or you know, the screw in there gets to where it needs to be roughed up and whatever. Well, Bobby had called, he and I both have a Hegner, and so he had called Advanced Machinery years ago, and they said, take the screw out and wash it, right?
I do.
Okay, well, that didn't seem to help on our Delta. It didn't help particularly. When I was using hardwood, or it was still jerking the blade out. So I thought, well, let me use my mineral spirits. And I just sprayed it with mineral spirits. It hadn't budged. I mean, I've used teeny tiny blades. I've used the PGT blades. None of it's pulled out. So I thought, okay, mineral spirits is the way to go. And I roughed up the edge of the screw.
The only bad part about roughing up the edge is it wears it down over time.
But
And you used to be able to buy them little buttons to put back on there. They don't sell them now. You have to buy the whole screw thing for the hanger. You have to buy the whole thing.
that's rotten.
I know. 'Cause
But
I
what-
bought 3 or 4 of them little ones, and I've used it. I'm down to my last one. So I'll have to buy the whole thing now.
Well, try some mineral spirits.
I will.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Why hadn't I thought about that
Well, it's
before?
oil on the blades. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
You know, all the blades, they have the oil on them, and I take them over to my wheel on my sand fleet, and I just suck on the blades on the ends and take off the oil, but it still works. I don't know where that oil comes from, even though I took it off the blade on the end.
Well, I put mineral spirits on the ends of my blades before I put them in. And between that and doing the screw, it really helped. I mean, I'm telling you, I thought, okay, after I used the PGT blades on that heart down here that was real heavy and dry hardwood, because that's when it jerks it out so much. I thought, I may not be able to do smaller blades. And I put in like a #1 something. It just held it prettier than, I mean, it held it very well.
Do you
Hey, you know-
use sandpaper to sand the edge of the blade?
I've never done that. I just
Always.
use mineral spirits on it.
I do both, and mineral spirits and sand. But you know, also, I take, you know, where the place where the screw goes in there, that little slot in it, take a toothbrush and dip it in the mineral spirits and scrub in there too.
Right.
So FYI, just,
You know where I'm saying?
Yeah.
That little.
The other side of
The little
where the
slot.
blade touches.
Yeah, and I take a toothbrush and dip it in there and scrub in there too. Because oil builds up in there as well
Yeah.
as on the screw. So those are the 2 things I do on a regular basis to keep this scroll saw working. And I also dip the blade in the mineral spirits and scrub sandpaper on it too, before I ever put it in that spot. Just maintenance. It's like washing the dishes after you eat.
you wash your dishes?
No.
We just clean them real well and put them back now.
You just put them on the floor, the dog can clean it.
Well, I do that. When I had a dog, I did that too. All right, anything else on discussion? So are we ready for brag items? Let's go. Brag items.
Don't everybody jump up at once.
Yeah. Everybody's being.
Okay, I'll get it started.
Okay, good.
I've got 3 things. They're all Steve Good patterns. Little birds. This is
How do you attach your platform to the object?
Wood glue.
Glue it?
yeah. And this is I just told you what kind of wood it was.
Hardwood.
Yeah, it's really hardwood. Oh, it's hickory.
Oh,
Oh God, it was.
Uh-huh.
That was a chore
What
cut.
blade you use on that?
5. I used the Pegasus modified geometric. Another Steve Good pattern in Paducah.
wait, hold that up again. Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty.
yeah.
You see, I see those in magazines and I think, I don't like I mean, you know, but
Yeah.
seeing cut, they're really pretty.
Yes.
I like that one.
This is a bird's eye maple.
And you just glue your bases down.
Yep. I don't mess with the mortise and tendon and all that stuff. I just,
What glue?
Tight Bond 3. The Tight Bond 3.
Type
glue.
concrete?
They seem to hold pretty good.
Okay, next. Oh, I'm on.
I'll show mine.
Okay.
Okay, here's my trivet, Amazing Grace. And this is some of Laverne's wood. And it was harder, very hard. Don't tell how long she'd had this piece of wood. But it is, to me, a really pretty wood. Then I said it's some type of oak. I don't know. Okay.
Might be walnut.
Well, it was blonde. Walnut is blonde.
What's that? What's
I don't know.
Probably maple.
I don't know. It's a board this big, and it's well, it's glued up, and it's over an inch thick. I use the what is it you use, Harmon PGTs?
Yeah.
And
I
it
usually get the BGDT,
What-
which is a
Where do you get
precision
them?
ground double tooth.
I got them from Seco.
Oh, Seiko? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is from a piece of oak, and this is a pattern that Laverne requested from Sue May, and so Sue May made up the pattern for Laverne. Laverne had a customer that wanted
Blue ball.
blue bonnets, and then she got the pattern, she cut it, and the lady said, "Nah, I don't want it." Laverne never cut it again. I cut it all the time, but it's very, very intricate in the leaves. But the pattern itself also has cutouts. You know how all these patterns have cutouts on. I don't like that. I like the solid, unless I want to put a backer to it. You know, so. Okay, then here is the difference in my Texas ornament. And then I reduced the size to earring size.
Wow.
Of course you
And I've
did.
got one smaller than that, but I don't think I can cut it any smaller anymore. I think used to I could. So look at the,
The red ones are earrings for regular people, and then
Well, unless
everything's
you
bigger in
want one.
Texas, so that other one's an earring for people.
for some of these,
It gets a little heavy.
no,
It's a necklace.
as heavy as some of as heavy as some of the earrings are that people wear, where their ears are down, that wouldn't be heavy at all. Okay, then I got I had a customer the other day that was looking at my magnets, and she said, "Where's the dogs and the cats?" Well, the next day, Sheila Landry had patterns of just forms like this, of dogs and cats.
Where'd you get them, Joanne?
From Sheila. So a page of cats and a page of dogs, all
Yeah.
different shapes.
Sheila Landry, yeah.
So I do these patterns that are together. Now, I bought this pattern a long time ago from one of the little books we get. And so I thought, well, why can't I put these shapes,
Let me see it.
why don't I put these shapes together and make my own puzzle? And that's what I did with this. Now, I need to go back and make eyes. To me, it'd make more sense with an eye in it. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Let me see. see.
It needs an eye, doesn't it? All of them.
Let me see.
And then I've also done the dogs.
Let me see.
That dog one up there, I don't know how many of them things I've sold that.
Yeah, it needs
out of
eyes.
that. I think Burns book that she has, I think is the name of it.
Okay, here's the pattern I made up. And the piece of wood I had was not big enough to accommodate this top ridge, so I just took the top ridge out. But as I cut these, okay, I put these together, and then in the middle of it, I put colored paper. Cut it out, and that's what I shuffled together and to make my puzzle pattern.
That's a good idea.
Because the wood itself is too thick,
Yeah.
but if you put different colors of this, then you can put together that. Surely somebody will buy those.
Oh, yeah.
But I've got a cat, and here's the dog puzzle. I'd figured out after doing the cats that I needed brighter paper. Okay,
I see if you had Corel Draw, you could just move it around.
I don't have to write. And my trouble is, Bobby, years ago, I got a, what is it? Anyway, it's a card file thing to make cards, and I could bring in too and insert like pictures and all that. Well, the new card files, I thought, oh, I'll update it. Even the same brand, you can't bring stuff into it. And it's like, so if I need to change the size of these, well, the new printers don't have sizes on them. So therefore, it Corel Draw. Anyway, so I can put it in that card file and change the size, except for some of these big things, you know, like big crosses that Sue may have. I'll take it down to Staples and have them. And rarely do they even charge me. I don't know how they make money because they don't ever charge me. So, but to me, it's a real problem. Kenneth bought this new printer thinking we really needed this new printer, and it doesn't have the sizing. Like my other one, the old printer, we could go, okay, I want it to be 25% or 65%. It doesn't have that anymore. And even down at Staples, it doesn't have that. They say, okay, what size do you want it? And they'll go with the width and the top. So it's like, and I asked them about it, and they said none of our new printers have sizing on it.
You expect the software to do it then?
I guess so. I don't know.
Well, Corel Draw, you can change the size and
Well,
size you want.
you know, I'm 81 years old. I can't learn anything new. Okay, there's my stuff.
Next.
All right, I'll do the duck. Everybody can see this is a duck, right? And I'll play tricks on you. So,
See, isn't that cute?
That is cute.
that's a painted version. All right, this one here, I get people laughing when they come in the booth.
Dog.
So it says, every snack you make, every bite you take, I'll be watching you.
That's true.
So. And this here is a puzzle of puzzles. This is a fabric. This is about 6 pieces that I cut the puzzle out of. And people with autism, they'll come to this thing and I'll have 1 or 2 pieces out, and they'll come over and they'll sit there and they'll play with them things, you know. And this one here, I don't know if it's a cross, and you can see it says hope. I don't know, can you read hope on there?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, so.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Oh,
that is lovely.
Wild.
Did you design that?
The cross is mine, the lettering is not. The cross that it was in, I didn't care for, so I went and just took the lettering and put it in my own cross. Now here's the rabbit and the duck just in a piece of cherry, see? And I have a lot of MDF that's left over. That's what that one's painted out of. Sometimes I don't even paint them or not. If I'm running short and I forgot to make some, you know, I'll just take them in. Kids still love them. They just go back and forth. And anyhow, here's a mom pattern. It says, "I love mom." In it. And then I got the military crosses I make like this.
is that your pattern?
Yeah. And then my wife's, her favorite verse there, she likes this.
Oh, I like that.
What did it say? I didn't.
It's well with my soul.
Oh.
It's also cherry wood.
Since I'm here, I'm on my eternal project. I think I've been working on it about a year now. And so
Is that all?
this is my current status update, but this is, my son just recently got his Eagle Scout, so I was trying to get this for his Court of Honor. Didn't get that in time, but it just continuing on go. I need to give him a body, basically a thinning down, and the head's mostly done now. So just for those who are, I get, every so often I get questions about it, so the current status update.
You can tell them what he did for a project for his Eagle.
Yeah, for his Eagle project, for those that don't know, so there was basically it was just a grass field near our church, and he basically took I'll call it a 20 by 20 foot area and made it into a little prayer garden with some benches and a concrete pad for them to put statues on. The church didn't get the statue in time, so he basically made an extra cross to put there now, so it's it's the project that keeps on giving, and he keeps going out and weeding and cleaning up and stuff, so I'm proud of him.
You should be. Okay, Harmon.
This is a pattern that was in with the patterns we got from Laverne. And I took this one, I cut this out of Western red cedar, and I used a number 9 PGDT cutting that. It cuts real good for the thick stuff. And it is this other piece of wood that I've got here. I got a story to tell you before I tell you about that. When I went to Lyndall's funeral, they had a basket out there that said, "Take something in memory of Lyndall." Well, I picked this cross up and I used it to make a pattern. And I've been making a lot of these. And my wife, Billy, got to talking to a guy at the church that is a chaplain for Medical City, Arlington. And she said she wanted to give him a bunch of these crosses. So she did. And then he come by later and he told her that he knelt down beside her there at her pew that she always has to have the end seat on, and told her that the first one of these that he gave out, he said that a lady come up and was talking to him, and her husband was a deputy sheriff and had just been shot and killed. He handed her that, said she took it and held it like this for a little while, and then she thanked him for that. And so then
That's got
him,
money.
did what?
That has writing on it?
No,
Okay.
that's just green. Then he and his wife went to Galveston, out on Galveston Island. And she found this piece of driftwood. And she said that she thought of me whenever she found that, wanted to know if I could do something with it, make something out of it. And since we're doing and I told the chaplain that if he needs more of those, just let me know and I'll give him some more. And he brought this to us, and so I talked it over with Billy, and what we decided to do was make as many of these prayer crosses as we could, as I could out of this. And so there's some spots in here that I can't put one that size on there, so I shrunk it down and just to see what it would do. And I shrunk it down to this size. And I had had a piece of wood that I got 3 of those. It was 1/4-inch wood. Then I took a piece of hickory that was 3/4 of an inch thick, and I cut that and then split it in half and got these 2 here. Then I tried it with a piece of Purple Heart, 3/4, and then I split that into 3.
Magic.
And so,
You
and
do that
then
on
what
bandsaw?
I did it on a scroll saw.
Roll saw.
Scroll saw. So what we've decided that I'm gonna make as many as I can out of that piece of wood and just give them all to him. I may keep one of each size out of it, but just give them all to him, because he's giving them out as he sees a need for them. And he said that he lets God tell him who to give them to. So that's my little story about that piece of driftwood there.
I thought it was a dinosaur bone there first.
Next.
Dinosaurs out of it.
So we're talking about dinosaurs.
Yeah, my arms. Just a bunch of sawing and gluing. Well, I actually didn't do too much gluing. I cut it tight enough with this aircraft plywood. I used clamps to press it together. And
What were you telling me about the spine?
I was going to say, if you, these patterns, watch them kind of close, because this could have been cut out of one piece instead of having it in 3 pieces. I didn't realize I had it cut out that there were a couple of puzzle joints in this thing that could have all just been one piece of wood, and we made the spine straight, because the spine has got a little tiny offset right in the center where it didn't line up.
And is that plywood?
That's that aircraft plywood.
Where do you get the aircraft plywood?
Oh, from a aircraft supplier they're in Atlanta and California.
Could you send her the email?
Yeah, it was about $124. The 2x4 foot sheet. It's like 19 ply,
We have Russ is in here, he can also.
covered in wood, covered in steel.
Okay, next. Your turn.
Well, Joanne asked me to bring something I painted.
Yes.
First you carved it, then you painted it.
Huh?
Yeah.
I like the rooster.
That sailor looks a little bit like you there.
Yeah, that is a long time ago. She said, told me to bring paint too, but when I paint, I just go over the, I don't care which one of the $1.99 or 99-cent one. whatever color I'm looking for, that's the one I get, so I just didn't bring it all in.
Okay, so do you leave that flat, or do you buy shiny gloss paint? That's
I
what.
still have a little bit of diff left, and that's what I use on them. I just matte color.
Oh, okay,
Now, this one here was a semi-gloss.
okay.
On the
First you
spray.
paint it and then you varnish it.
Yeah.
You sprayed that or brushed it?
I sprayed the clear coat on, but I paint the rest of it with brush. And you wanted something that could go either way? Well, you can have wood or you love wood.
Yeah, I do not understand how that works.
I don't either, but it was on the pattern.
I know, I mean, it's just like,
But I love wood.
that
Where'd
is.
you get that pattern?
One of our books. It's called some book.
On
Yeah.
one of our books.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get in there and dig deep in your books now to find them.
Who was that lady that done all them?
Diana Thompson.
Yeah, Diane Thompson.
She doesn't do them.
Huh?
Diana doesn't.
No, she made a lot of those.
Yeah, she designed, I have.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
okay.
she passed away. Did
She
you know
passed
that?
away.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
She lived down right south of Mobile, close to where I used to live.
Yeah, I talked to her before.
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember her name.
So I made some crosses.
Pretty.
And this one I thought, let's see what happens. So I made it larger and used thin wood. Just, yeah. Next time I may make it a different size and use thicker wood. I don't know. Just whatever happens to suit me that day.
Do you sell more crosses or not? Or do you sell the most of them?
But don't sell much of anything. And I like to cut small things. I really do. I enjoy cutting little tinies just to see what would happen. So these, and cut them, paint them, and then varnish them. Just how small can you get a reindeer? You know, just for fun. I like to do little bitties.
What's that wee little one there?
Which, this?
Yeah.
That's an eagle.
Eagle.
That's an eagle with his wings up. So that's his wings.
Yeah, I see.
It's just fun.
That's when you don't want to throw any wood away.
Yeah. Well, it gets rid of a lot of
just
little
can't
pieces, you know?
down.
That's being frugal, huh?
But, and it gets rid of a lot of little pieces that you got sitting around.
They just sit around in there. Since you don't sell them, you just sit around in there. for
Well,
a
I put
while.
them in a box.
Then she makes glue out of the sawdust.
Correct. Okay. Did we have a demo then? David, are you going to?
Sure.
Okay.
Be okay if I move your stuff and use that corner of the table, or?
Do you,
My bag.
Oh, okay. Joanne was, wanting to know how I made picture frames.
Oh, yes, good.
Here's a bit, I brought this just to show you what the picture frames look like. It won't stay there. Anyway, I've built a couple of jigs, and I can't say it was my own ideal. It's David Tuchek, I believe it. I'm probably messing up his last name. David part I'm sure of. Anyway, he's got a
wanna
YouTube
move?
site.
move your dinosaur?
He's got a YouTube site called Make Something. And you can go there and find a video of the build of this thing. But I guess the first thing you need actually is a table saw.
Put him over there. Put him over on that.
And this is basically a sled. I've got little runners on it. They'll go into the runners on the table saw. And when you're making frames, there's basically two things that you got to be real sure about. One is that the corners are all 90 degrees. And the other thing is making sure getting the length right. This jig solves both of those. I've got, first off, it uses a carpenter square to build it with, so automatically you have a good 90-degree corner in there. And then the way it's raised up and everything, well, when you make your wood and everything, you got to build a little rabbet in there for the picture to really go into. The rabbet will slide right up against the edge of the wood. And then also when I put the kerf in there for the saw blade, I lined it up to where the right side of the kerf is right on the tip of the square.
So do you start off with wood, or do you start off with framing material?
To start with, I pick whatever wood I want to use.
You start with wood. You don't use framing material. You know, you can buy framing material by the foot.
Oh, I never used that.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Okay, then I'll run through a planer right quick, make sure it's all the same thickness. And then I'll cut it down to the width you want. When I first started, I was getting real fancy. I'd do all sorts of coves and roundovers, chamfer the edges and whatnot. I'd cut another rabbet in there and put a different type of wood on there and glue them together. But I found out people like the plain ones just as much as the fancy ones. So, and these are so much easier. Last Christmas, my wife is into doing these diamond paintings, and she gave, well, she's an administrator for a home health company, and she gave a diamond painting to all of her employees, which was like 85 of them. Wow. Yeah, well, they were all like 6x6, small ones. But anyway, I ended up having to make frames for all of those.
We saw that
And how much was it? How many did she have you make?
I think it was like 85. Yeah. So anyway, the jig comes in real handy, like I say. But anyway, I just basically, cut the wood, the width you want, the width of the frame, and then cut a rabbet out of it. And then I just leave it like that, basically.
Okay.
And then when you, this has got a built-in stop here, and you've got the square's got a ruler already printed on it. And so, whatever the length of your print is, or whatever it is you're framing, I just take that length and I add like 1/8 of an inch or so to give me a little bit of play in there. And I just move this down to whatever length that is and lock it in place.
Okay.
And then that way, you make your first cut coming up on this right side, right through the saw, cut that one, and then you bring it around here to the other side and you make your second cut. And you do 2 for one side for that print. And then you can reset your stop wherever. And do the 2 for the other side. That's basically.
So how many did you make before you got all this down pat?
That's not a very good question.
I think probably, not really that many, probably maybe 8 or 10
Oh, that's good.
before I figured out I needed to find a simpler way.
That, I do like.
You don't use a miter saw.
No, I do it all on the table
Yeah,
saw.
I just make mine with a miter saw instead, yeah.
Yeah, well, then you have that problem of figuring out how long to make them to, you know,
Yeah, my miter saw always has a
It's
little
always-
wobble into.
miter saw, you either measure to the outside or to the inside, one or the other. And what you need to measure to is whatever
That inside
is
part.
the inside part. And this eliminates all that problem there.
So how do you cut that square? Would they
That's
go
what I
chew
am
up a
getting-
saw?
Cut,
The actual metal part of the square, did that chew up your saw or?
it's aluminum.
Okay, so it cuts up.
You can cut aluminum on the wood saw.
Well, if you cut it, then you're gonna screw it up. It ain't gonna work no more.
That's my problem, he's gotta cut
How
them.
does he cut?
And if you're against making this,
I think
go
he
to his
just smooths it
website,
up.
or not his website, but his YouTube channel. It's Make Something. And he's got hundreds of things in there he's made.
How does that clamp stay on?
Got
It's,
a groove.
there's a little groove in here that fits over the
You got a
T-square.
piece of wood underneath underneath it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, to raise the T-square up a
Yeah, he
little bit.
raises up the square.
So all that does is measure.
And they have blades color.
No, I think he cuts this to
Yeah,
make sure
well,
it's all
all
the
your
same
wood blades
size.
cut
Yeah.
along
Kind of goes.
I think that's
How
what
do you
he's
do
doing.
that on or something?
the problem.
So
It's
did you
not-
mount the square before cutting it, or do you get your cut and then make sure your square was lined up to that cut?
Well, the first thing I did was I used a carpenter square to get to 45, and I had the, golly, can't think of the words right now. On the saw, the little bar that slides across, I just put the carpenter square on that and lined the board up to where it was 45-degree angle, and then put the little rails on the back side, made the sled that was 45. And then I cut the little kerf in there is my next step. And then I took the carpenter square again and got me a 45-degree line going off of that, and I lined this up with that, and also with the tip of it onto the right side of the kerf, and then just mounted it all. The important thing is that the whole corner is 90 degrees. This can be a little off one way or another, and it doesn't really matter that much.
So you put that thing, your jig on your table saw, right?
Yeah, this is jig for the table saw. And then, after I'm done with that.
What are those extra appendages on it?
Wasn't it?
What's all those extra appendages on the bottom? No, the piece that sticks out.
Oh, that just supports if I've got a long,
Oh.
sometimes I have a real long, when I do all that,
So
I
you
need
did
like
that on
one
purpose,
long piece
not-
of wood.
For the bigger frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a frame the other day that was
So we cut
29 and a half inches long. And so it went longer than the ruler. And actually, I just drew a line out from that. And then I took a carpenter square and got a 45-degree angle. Well, I marked where I wanted it to go to. And then made a 45-degree line. And then I just sort of clamped a block of wood there for my stop. And then also,
Okay.
you can go to gluing it up.
That's good.
I like that.
Oh, my goodness, where did you get that?
Same website.
Okay, you gotta tell me that website.
It's Make Something.
What is it?
It's YouTube, it's not a website.
Okay,
It's
YouTube, and it's called what?
Make Something.
Make something.
I used to always think it was Build Something, and then I couldn't find it again. But anyway, just sort of put this together, you do it light, and then you can move your corners around real easily to get it all squared up real nice.
I like that jig.
And then you clamp it, then you can go back with a square, make sure everything's
Double check.
square.
Double check.
Important step before you go to glue it up. Before you go to glue it up and everything, I always raise up the corners and slide in some wax paper, or else you might end up having your
Good.
jig
Oh,
going
good
to
idea.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But,
Sounds like we've done that before. Oh, I like that.
Anyway, the jig works really well.
Oh, my goodness.
And in case you are interested, I noticed, and I got a Woodcraft flyer the other day, and for the month of June,
You get those?
they have a contest for building picture frames.
Yes, I saw that.
You go for it, guy, you go
Yeah,
for it.
I want you in there.
Okay. Any other questions or anything?
That is great.
Nice.
So which woodcraft do you go to? The one,
Plano.
oh, okay.
I live in Garland, so.
Yeah, okay, you don't go by mine. Huh? I was gonna look at the frames.
You make frames. You make-
Okay.
I use my miter saw.
There's a made frame. Look.
Small.
Here, you want to pass it
I have a
around?
radial arm.
Oh,
Is that accurate enough to do that?
Take that one.
radial arms, I imagine so.
It's 90 degrees.
You have patterns here.
It should be all right. It's just sometimes the numbers aren't exactly right
got
that's
one.
on your saw, and you gotta adjust it to get them right.
Everybody to come get one of these,
My miter
please.
saw has a bit
If
of
you
a
pay
wobble
dues, come get one of these.
back and forth, you know, when I lock it down. So,
Mine don't do that. Tiny
Get
hat.
that. Here.
I think it's
Yes,
a hardware.
everybody needs one of these.
Maybe it's time to replace it.
What kind?
I think it's a hardware.
Yeah.
So,
I got a good one, it's a nice one.
had a sale on my recently, I was thinking about it.
David, thank you, that was very good. It was very good. I love that last room thingy. I gotta make that.
It's so handy, you know.
I'm not sawing anymore.
I'm going to make one of those. You, I want you.
Okay.